everyone, welcome to Love Talk. It's a pleasure to be here with you again. We are in a new location, but I am with the usual life partner, Elena Marquez.
Me too, James Marquez. And today we are enjoying the beautiful weather. It's really sunny, it's full winter time, but we thought it would be nice to record in a different location, isn't it?
That's right. And today we're going to start with a question as we started last week. And there's no need for me to read because it's a short question, but someone wrote to us and said, I broke up with my girlfriend some time ago, but I'm now considering getting back with her. Please help me to pray so we can get back together. You know, before we pray for you to get back together with her, I think it's important to consider why you separated in the first place. Sometimes people break up for very good reasons, because the relationship wasn't working, they both had different goals in life, different values. One of them was a family-oriented person, another one didn't care for family, and you broke up for that reason. But then when the person is lonely, they say, oh, I want to be back with her again or with him again because at least I'm not alone. But that's a bad choice, because
That's
the
the wrong
person,
reason.
yes, and the person is forgetting why they separated in the first place.
That's right, and this happens a lot even in the church. But let's talk about, when this happens, when the person is not a Christian, not, coming to the church and all that. When the person starts feeling lonely, or they start feeling like, when they start...
This noise, we are next to the army base, and they're doing some rehearsals.
Oh yeah.
But that's normal.
Okay, so let's carry on. Like I was saying, they start feeling lonely, or everyone is putting pressure on them, directly or indirectly. For example, I'm getting old, everyone is moving on, and I'm still single. Maybe I can just go back to that former husband or wife or whatever and make it work. And that might be a huge mistake, because you are not valuing yourself. We are not saying that you should never, or there are people who go back and they are never happy. This can happen as well. But we are telling you, be careful. Look into the situation. Remember why you separated. Because chances are that everything is going to happen all over again, and you're going to end up hurt again. And just before I finish, James, before I forget, is what happens in the church. The person comes to God, they learn about forgiveness, about valuing themselves, they discover the true love, which is, God loves me so much, I don't need to beg for other people's love to feel important or beautiful. So they've changed, they are in a good place. But time goes by, and they do feel lonely sometimes. I would like to be in a relationship. So they also start thinking, oh, maybe that person who was my partner before, or my husband, who used to hit me, or who used to do all sorts of things with me, maybe it can work because I changed. But people have to remember that, yes, you have changed, you have changed yourself, you healed, but you cannot change people around you unless they want to change.
The bottom line is that if that person wants to get back to you, or you're thinking of getting back to them, but the same problems that existed before that made you separate are still there, then you shouldn't go back. Because you're going to go back it's like going from the frying pan to the fire. It's a worse situation. And actually, this is what we're going to talk to you about. We're going to talk to you today about making intelligent decisions in love. So I want you to enjoy this song we're going to play right now. We're going to come back to talk to you about this very important topic that will change your love life.
I pour out my soul before your altar. I know I don't deserve you, but I come to you by faith. You're my everything, you're my freedom. Let me enter your kingdom. Come upon me now. When I feel your presence, I can breathe. You revive me. I have peace. I lay down my life before your feet. Give me your power. Come live in me. Come fill my heart, oh Holy Spirit. I offer you my life as a perfect sacrifice. Descend upon me now, just like you promised. May your spirit take control and your power freely flow. I pour out my soul before your altar. I know I don't deserve you, but I come to you by faith. You're my everything, you're my freedom. Let me enter your kingdom. Come upon me now. When I feel your presence, I can breathe. You revive me. I have peace. I lay down my life before your feet. Give me your power. Come live in me. Come fill my heart, oh Holy Spirit. I offer you my life as a perfect sacrifice. Descend upon me now, just like you promised. May your spirit take control and your power freely flow. Come fill my heart, oh Holy Spirit. I offer you my life as a perfect sacrifice. Descend upon me now, just like you promised. May your spirit take control and your power freely flow.
Welcome back. We know that many people who watch this program, not everyone, but many people who watch this program are immigrants, are OFWs. They work abroad to maintain their family. Do you remember when you made that decision? When you chose to leave your country to go to another country to provide for your family, that was a decision based on intelligence. You wouldn't move to another country to earn less money. That doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't go to live in another country far away from your family to make less money than you were making in your country. So one day you thought, if I go to Taiwan, if I go to Hong Kong, I'm going to make more money. So I'm going to go. It was an intelligent decision. The pain of living far from your family made sense temporarily, knowing you're going to make more money. When people choose to buy a house, it's an intelligent decision. You check if you have enough money in the bank, if the bank will give you a loan, you buy the house. But when it comes to love life, it seems like people throw intelligence out the window. They use intelligence for everything in their life, apart from their love life. No wonder things start going wrong.
It's as if some people think, I have to live in such discipline. I have to pay my bills. I have to be very responsible with this, with that. But with my love life, I can just be myself and just do what I feel. And actually, is one of the areas of our life where we need to be more careful.
To think more.
To think more, to plan ahead more. Because look what happens as a result of people not thinking. Children, pregnancies come along with no parents, with no father, no mother, actually no father. What else? Broken hearts, traumas, and it's a snowball.
And Lena, when people move to another country to work, or when they're going to buy a house, any major decision, people take a paper, a pen, they make a list. Let me see, how much money will I make working in that country? How much money will I save? How much money can I send to my family? If they're going to buy a house, how much will the mortgage cost me? How much will I need to pay every month? But when it comes to relationships, they don't put anything on paper. They don't ask themselves, is this guy going to be a good father to my children? Is he a hard worker? Does he think about starting a family? Is he a faithful person? None of this matters. All they think is, how does this person make me feel?
Yeah.
He looks good, he has muscles, he has nice hair, nice eyes, he plays basketball really well, right? And everything else doesn't matter. And then the problems come. Mm-hmm. And those problems could have been avoided if the person just thought a little bit.
So how many people fall into this trap? And of course, Hollywood plays a huge part in this. The movies, the songs that people write, and love, 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 follow your heart. It's all a load of rubbish.
And you need, just like you ask yourself certain questions when it comes to your finances, to your plans, you need to ask yourself the same questions when it comes to your love life. You need to learn to do the following. If you're going to get married, if you're going to date someone, ask yourself, is this guy hardworking? Does he work? Because if he doesn't have a job and he doesn't study, he doesn't do anything, then you are going to be paying for him to live on the couch for the rest of your marriage. It's a bad choice. If this guy has a reputation for being a womanizer, going around with many women, and maybe now you think, no, but I'm the one. But maybe he said that she was the one to many other women before. So you need to look at these things, and no matter how this guy makes you feel, you know that this is going to be bad for you in the future. It's like eating a huge amount of chocolate. It makes you feel good, but you're going to regret it later. It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. And for those who are married, you also need to use your intelligence to rescue your marriage. You know how many times the person gets angry because the wife said something he didn't like, or the husband said something she didn't like. In a moment of anger, the person started throwing things at them. The person's working in another country, so they think, oh, I'm so lonely, I'm going to get a boyfriend, mm-hmm. right? And in that moment of thinking of getting a boyfriend because she's lonely, she doesn't think, or he doesn't think, that he's destroying his marriage, his family, the life of his children. He's going to regret it in the future. But he's not thinking about it, or she's not thinking about it, so they create a bigger problem.
It's a mess.
I know we're sounding very harsh, but the truth is we want to open your eyes to the fact that when you employ the same level of thinking, of preparing, of making plans to your love life as you do to other areas of your life, then things start to change. If you're single, make a plan. What kind of man do you want? What kind of woman do you want? And if the person you found did not match that criteria, then don't get into that relationship. And we're not talking about physically. Don't make physical plans. The physical plans, what the guy looks like, what the woman looks like, is not important. What matters, it finishes, it ends. What matters is the plans. Is this guy a person of character, integrity? He's truthful, hardworking, family man. That's the person you should be looking for, God-fearing above all. And if you are married already, don't make decisions based on anger. Don't choose to quit a marriage because someone made you angry. Don't go and start an affair because you feel lonely. Because you will be destroying your relationship, your marriage. So we want to encourage you today with this program for you to think, for you to make decisions based on intelligence and not feelings and emotions.
And stop listening to your friends who are not qualified to give you advice. Do you know what happens? I know you want to finish, but let me just say something. When someone is doing something wrong, their conscience accuses them. And they don't want to do it by themselves. They want to bring as many friends as possible to do the same so that they don't feel so bad about themselves. Run away from friendship like this. Look after your life, your future.
That's right. So we encourage you after this program to start making intelligent decisions in your love life. You're going to see the difference. Let's now watch a testimony. We'll come back in just a few moments to finish today's program. So I know your story. I know you have a lot to say. So I'll let you get started and tell people at home about the many things that you went through and the many things you experienced in life, the many problems you went through. Please tell us a little bit about your story.
I was the average youth. I grew up without my dad, and I idolized my brother. He was involved with drugs, money, sex, everything. I wanted that. I chased it. I got involved with drugs myself. I started selling it, partying, having sex, sleeping out. I was making a lot of money for myself.
Because of the drugs?
Yes, because of the drugs. So I was known as that guy that had the money. Apart from that, inside I had a lot of anger issues. There was rage. I didn't forgive my mum because I thought that she was the reason why I didn't know my dad. And so all of that rage was in there. The relationship between us was not good at all. And literally, I was always outside. So it'd be from college to selling drugs, to coming home at God knows what time.
What drugs did you used to sell?
I used to sell weed, all types of weed. I sold crack. I sold cocaine as well.
Did you ever get to the point of taking drugs?
I took drugs, yes. The first time it was weed, and then I got heavily addicted to it to an extent that I couldn't function without it at all. The first thing I would do in the morning before even brushing my teeth, going to have a bath, I would make sure that I would smoke first. That's how I would function.
Now, a lot of people associate drugs with violence, with crime, with, going to hospital because someone attacked you. Is any of these things ever happened to you?
Everything you said happened. The problem with selling drugs, it's like protecting your own territory, that area. So I got involved with stabbings. I got involved with a shooting, which should have changed my life completely, but it didn't. When
you say you got involved, what do you mean? Did you get stabbed? Did you get shot?
Yeah, I got stabbed multiple times in my chest. I got shot point blank in my chest, in my heart. Up to this present moment, I'm living with a bullet in my heart. And so even that I didn't change. When I came out of hospital, I felt that, look, I need to get back on the roads. I've missed a lot.
So you never thought, I need to change. You thought, I need to get back and make the money that I didn't make while I was in hospital.
Yeah, not at that time. Changing was not in my thoughts at all. Even though I didn't want to have that lifestyle, I knew I had dreams, I had goals, but I needed to make up for the time that was lost, all that money that I lost. So I went back, but I went back with a vengeance. I went back looking for the person who I didn't find for a while. And I was selling much, much more. And it was the time that I was selling drugs, I went to go and make a drop off. And my mum was coming to the church and she was bugging me that day. And she said, look, we're going. I don't care. Whatever you're doing, we're going. So we went to the UCKG Health Centre. And I remember sitting there and I was just thinking, this woman, you're really wasting my time. Like, this place is not for me. Even though I grew up in a Christian background, but it was like, I didn't take God serious. Like, it wasn't for me. Eventually, we got to a point where I started taking things serious, with God. And because I was seeing, just like how other people, their life was changing. And I was like, I want that. I broke the SIM card so no dealers could get through to me. No one could find me, literally. I changed everything about me. I had piercings, I had rings, jewelry. I got rid of everything. I went to uni, studying medicine. And so my life was completely how it should be.
Right.
But then there was a point in my faith, I could say, where I backslided. A case happened And it was just like, I couldn't do it anymore.
A lot of people say that when you choose to go back, things get a lot worse.
Yes.
Is that what happened to you?
My life literally spiraled out of control. I was in the church at the time. There was an on and off relationship, and I found out certain things that happened in that relationship, which drove me literally to the edge, because it was like I was thinking, how can that happen, especially inside of the church? So I remember speaking to the pastor. I handed over the group that I was involved with and everything, and I left.
You just chose to go back.
Yeah, I just couldn't take it no more.
When you went back, what was worse?
Literally, the anger that I had was crazy. I ended up in a cell. I was arrested. I spent 21 hours in a cell, and then I was released on bail, and I ended up again 1 week after, again arrested for some mad craziness that happened. I then recently found out that I had a child from a previous relationship, and then literally they passed away after a few days after one of my friends' wedding. So that just literally threw me off.
Everything started to go wrong.
Everything.
Because of poor choices you made.
Yes.
Now, you're sitting here in front of me, not to tell me that things are really bad. You're here to tell me things are good. So how are you today and what's changed? Just very quickly, tell us at home what made you wake up to see that where you once were in the faith, that's the best your life had ever been, and how did things change?
Things changed when I was literally spiraling out of control. I was on the verge of madness, and I remember a few of the friends that I knew that I was still close with, they was calling me, contacting me, and they was especially there during the funeral, and it was like saying, Jerry, you need to come back. So I remember it was a Saturday, the pastor called me. He said he needs to speak to me. And I came, and when he spoke to me, I opened up, told him everything that was happening. And he was saying, Jerry, you can do it. Don't give up. So from that day, literally, I didn't make the decision straight away, but I got there eventually, and it was literally a few months ago. My life changed. I made the decision, and yeah, I got rid of every habit, every addiction.
So all that is now behind your back?
Yes.
And you're moving forward?
Completely, Bishop.
Okay. You've had a very negative past.
Yes.
Are you happy for people to see who you are now and to see your face and know who you are and know that you've changed?
Yes, Bishop. My name is Jerry. I'm a completely different man. I'm no longer addicted, and I'm happy, and my life is moving forward.
Welcome back. You see that nothing is impossible for our God. You know, perhaps you watch today's program and you think that we were teaching you never to forgive someone who cheated on you. We're teaching you not to forgive repeated cheaters, someone who keeps doing it repeatedly, who has no character and no intention to change. But if there was a moment of weakness, because you were separated in different countries, perhaps not separated on paper, but separated on different countries, then perhaps there is a future in the relationship. But think, if the person wants to change, then perhaps there is a future. But we're teaching you, don't accept the person back just because you don't want to be alone. If the person's been a repeated cheater, perhaps it's time for you to think that you deserve better, that perhaps you are better on your own for a while. If you have gone from one broken relationship to another, different boyfriends, different girlfriends, perhaps you need to stay alone for a while and think about your priorities, about improving yourself, so that then you are ready for a relationship. I'd like to end with a final example. When a car enters a race and he does 100 races and he loses 100 races, then something has to change. Perhaps you need to change the car, or you need to change the driver, but you need to change something. If you have been dating 5 boyfriends, 10 different boyfriends, and none of the relationships worked, then something inside of you needs to change. Perhaps your selection process, the way you choose, the way that you select the potential future wife or husband. But you keep doing the same thing, you're going to get the same results, brokenness. Remember that. I hope that today's program was helpful. Don't forget to share it with your friends. I'm sure it's going to bless them as well, okay? We're going to now watch the program Miracles Can Happen. Until next time, God bless you. Bye-bye.